Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome. Oops, looking at the wrong place, my camera's over there. Welcome to this week's Monday Motivation. So you can see I'm in a slightly different location this morning. And, in the last couple of weeks, it's finding the light at 7 o'clock in the morning. So for those of you who've been eagerly wondering, eagerly waiting and thinking, where is she? I'm here. I'm back from my holiday. And this Monday's motivation is especially for you if you are really keen on personal development, if you're keen on developing yourself, if you're keen on developing others. And I'm going to come at it from a slightly different angle. So if you have watched any of the recent Monday motivations, you would have seen that I've covered things like your strengths, playing to your strengths. And normally when we're looking at personal development, self-development, whatever you want to call it, normally when we're looking at that, we're looking at areas of almost weakness, areas of things that we perceive we need to do better, know more of, or something like that. And when we look from that place, it really minds the goal of what's not working for us, what might be getting in our way, what might be stopping us. However, there's also a case for the things that work really well in our lives and the things that we want to do more of, be more of, have more of, do more of, or anything else like that. And one of the things that gets really overlooked, and I did mention this in a previous episode, one of the things that gets really overlooked is what I'm going to refer to as our empowering beliefs. Now, if you're a coach, a mentor, or you work with people in developing themselves, you would have probably come across the term limiting beliefs. And any time I've spoken or had a conversation with somebody, asked them what they think stops them, if they're aware of this, they'll normally kind of give me a whole list of, well, this happened, or, my parents did this, or at school this happened, or I once gave a talk and this thing happened. And they'll give me all the limiting beliefs. And for those of you that aren't kind of coaches or don't work in this area or this field, a belief has got nothing to do with religion at all in this context. A belief is all around, it's how we operate, it's how we make, one of the best definitions, I think, was in a book by Joseph O'Connor and John Seymour, which funny enough I recommended yesterday, and I should have flipped my camera around because you're going to get this in mirror image, but you can buy it on Amazon, and it's called Introducing NLP. And it gives a really, really great description of what a belief is. And it says, and I'm going to break it down, a belief is the generalisation we make about the world and our operating principles in it, which probably sounds like a lot of gobbledygook. So let me just break that down. Our beliefs, the generalisations we make about the world, is we will have thoughts or concepts about how we see things happen in the world. Let's think about politics just for a second, whether you're in the kind of Brexit or Remain, even if you're in the United States, as some of my clients are, and you're with your current president or you're not with your current president. Underneath all of those feelings and those thoughts will come your belief system. As I say, nothing to do with religion, but everything to do with how you operate in the world. And how you operate in the world will be driven by what you believe to be true. So it will come out in our language and in our thoughts as sweeping statements. So you might find yourself saying or thinking things like, people who are politicians are, and you'll finish that sentence, and whether it seems like a negative or a positive sentence, it will be something that you believe to be true. So therefore, you will do your stuff in the world according to what your beliefs are around that. Okay, so hopefully that's broken it down a little bit. And what that then does is it affects the way that we do things, it affects the way that we operate. So there are lots of people out there that love what politicians do, what they stand for. There are people who mistrust politicians, again, because of what we believe to be true and how we operate in the world. What we will do is we'll look out at how things happen, and we'll see more and more of stuff to prove our point, whether it's, like I say, whether it's an empowering belief or a limiting belief, one that stops us or one that has us go forward. Now, it's quite funny because I was talking to a client quite recently about this, and this is like the first day back from my holiday. So it was before I went on holiday, and we were talking about property. Don't even know how we got talking about property, but we were talking about property, and I'd said something like, for some reason, I don't know why, I'm really great with property when it comes to buying and selling property. Every time I've bought and sold a property, I've always done really well out of it. And that is an empowering belief. Is that true in the grand scheme of things? Does it mean that when you go into property that you will always do well of it? Well, if it's not your belief, you might be thinking, well, every time I've got involved in property, I've always lost a load of money. But I've got very empowering belief around it because of the experiences I've had with property, with my own properties. It's just a silly example, but it's one that it kind of roots us in what we believe to be true. So why is this motivation for Monday? Why is this motivation for your morning? Why could this motivate your week or even your month? One of the things that we have almost got used to doing in this part of the world, and it's probably a very cultural thing in terms of like the Western world and how we operate and what we do, is that we've become really astute at becoming self-aware. Self-aware by looking at the things that we perceive we do well or the things that we don't do well, and having a very strong focus on the things we don't do well. And I say Western because in Eastern traditions, where a lot of the personal development tools actually kind of originated from and came from, they think and live very differently, which is why so many of us like to go to places like India and Thailand and Bali and places like that, because it's kind of in their culture, in their roots of how they think and how they do stuff. So how do we use this knowledge of our own empowering or limiting beliefs to motivate ourselves? Well, for the purposes of this Monday motivation, I would advocate that you look at your empowering beliefs. And in order to do that, you need to probably collect them, because we focus so much on self-improvement and making things better and different that sometimes we actually forget the things that empower us. Things like my comment around houses and property. So what I'd get you to do today, if you can, or as soon as you've watched this video, is just set 5 minutes, a 5-minute alarm, or on your watch or your phone or something like that, and think of all the things in your life that you've done and you've totally nailed and that you know you're really great at. It could be anything from boiling rice to raising your children, someone else's children, to spotting the greatness in somebody else, to being able to calm people down, to being able to sell well, to being able to be visible in terms of a video or something like that. It could be absolutely anything, and there will be a lot of things only if you give yourself the time and space to write them down. Now, when you're doing an exercise like this, a little tip would be start from this moment that you're in now and work backwards, because they're memories of things that you might have said, oh, well, yesterday, oh my gosh, I was able to eat 5 ice creams. That's like no problem. I can eat ice cream anytime, any place, anywhere. That's actually an empowering belief. You believe that to be true. And every time you're presented with a gazillion ice creams, you will eat them, no problem. You'll never say, oh, but when I was a child, I ate too many sweets and I was ill, so maybe I shouldn't do it this time. No. You're empowered. You believe that. So write those down. Take 5 minutes to write them down. And what I would do is I'd write them down in a nice notebook or something somewhere where you can go back to them. If you're more kind of electronic, open up a Word document or any other document on your computer or your phone, and keep going back and adding to them, because after you've sat for 5 minutes and just focused your attention on that one area of your life, the empowering beliefs, more will start to kind of resurface. More empowering beliefs will start to surface as you go about your daily life. And it's really great to have somewhere to add them to that list. And thank you for the thumbs up, whoever's just given me that. I can't see any comments or anything today, so I'm going to assume that either I'm not being shown them or that you're all very quietly watching. So take a moment, take 5 minutes, 3 minutes if you're super busy, and write down some of those empowering beliefs. And then once you've written those and started to make a list, have those as your go-to place. I did something kind of similar but different for myself many years ago after I was made redundant, and had the most amazing conversation with a complete stranger over on LinkedIn. And I'd asked a question in a forum, and this lovely woman took the time to actually write back quite a long personal message to me. And when she answered the message, one of her suggestions was a positive reinforcement folder. So this is what this is. This is like a shrunk down version of the process that I went to. But your empowering beliefs become like your positive reinforcements, to be used at any time where you're feeling like you can't do it anymore, you've had enough, it seems so difficult, or you're in competition maybe. Maybe you're going for a job interview, like a recent client of mine who got her job, yay! You're going for a job interview and you need to remind yourself of your strengths. They ask you that question, so tell us some of your strengths, or why would we love to have you working here? You can draw on these empowering beliefs, because the minute you even start thinking about them, start reading them back, start saying them to yourself or out loud, it will really start to raise that great feeling of, actually, I can do this, I can do anything. So it causes like an emotional shift. So give that a go, set a timer, write down as many as you can, and then keep going back and adding to them so that you've got these moments. And just by doing that alone, on a daily basis, revisiting that list on a daily basis, adding to the list on a daily basis as and when things come up, you'll find that it will really shift your motivation to get stuff done. And it may actually stop you from spending too much time focusing on the beliefs that limit you, and have you more focused on the beliefs that empower you, that get you going, that get you motivated. So thank you so much for watching. As always, please don't keep this a secret. Please do share this with friends. And if you haven't already seen that, I've also got a YouTube channel where I share things like this, but also a lot more stuff that I share just on YouTube. Or if you're more of an Instagram person, I'm also over on Instagram as at the Queen of Being Seen. Do go over, do hit subscribe or like, or even follow, but most importantly, do share this, because you never know who of your friends or your family might just need to hear this message today. It might even be a work colleague. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing your comments and everything below. And as usual, if you're one of the vibers in the Visibility Vibe Tribe and want to carry on the conversation and continue the conversation in there, maybe in a bit more of a private space, then do type away, just add the hashtag Monday Motivation so that we can all find them and see them and support you in your post. Thank you so much. There's some new things coming for you, Visibility Vibe Tribers. Can't wait to share those with you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.